All right, least common multiple, LCM. Now, you might be wondering, why are we talking about least common multiple? That's something that you probably seen many, many, many years ago, back in like 6th grade or 7th grade or something like that. Here's why we're looking at least common multiple. We are going to need to know how to find the least common multiples when we get to chapter 3 and we start solving systems by elimination. We need to be able to instantly look at two numbers and say, the least common multiple is 8, or the least common multiple is 12. Before we get into chapter 3, I thought what would be good is to practice with how do we find least common multiple. This way, when we get to chapter 3, we're not trying to figure out how to do that. So this is intended to be a refresher to help you get acclimated with finding LCM. So let us begin. Least common multiple definition. That is the smallest or least two or more numbers have in common. Now, let's talk about multiples really quick. What are some multiples of 4? To find multiples of 4, what you do is you count by 4s. If I count by 4s, what would my first number be? Did you say 4? That would be correct. What would my next number be? 4, add 4 to 4. That gives me 8. Another way to think of it is, since we're talking about multiples, is to multiply. 4 I could get by saying, well, that's simply 4 times 1. And to get 8, that's 4 times 2. And to get my next multiple, that's 4 times 3. What would that be? That would be 12. All right, let's do maybe 1 or 2 more. Let's do 1 more, because we need to get to finding LCM. 4 times 4 would be my next multiple in my list. 4 times 4, that makes 16. All right, now, let's take a look at our first example. What is the least common multiple of 2 and 8? Now, if you're looking at that and you're saying, I have no idea how to find what the LCM is, I'm at a loss. Hey, that's all right. What you can do is list what are the multiples of 2, what are some multiples of 8, and then we want to find the smallest number of both lists. That's the same. Eventually, you want to be able to look at two numbers and say, the LCM is this instantly, like almost without even thinking. But here in the beginning, it's okay if you have to list things out to find the correct answer. There's no shame in that. Here's how you find the LCM. Our two numbers are 2 and 8. Let's start counting by 2s. If I count by 2s, my next multiple would be 4. Count by 2 more, 6. 4 multiply. 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4, 2 times 5, that's 10, 12. And a number is going to have an infinite number of multiples. A whole number has an infinite number of multiples. There's no way to list them all out. You couldn't do it. You would end up 6 feet under before you could list out all the multiples. It's impossible. So here's what you do. You just list a couple, all right, a handful. And let's do the same thing for 8. My list for 8, I count by 8. 8 times 1 is 8. What's my next multiple? 16. 8 times 2 makes 16. My next multiple, 8 times 3, 24. And we'll just do a couple more for grins and giggles. I think I screwed up, didn't I? I did. I did screw up. That's all right. That's why we have erasers. All right, so we got 32, 40. All right, and we could keep going on and on and on, but there's no reason to, because hopefully in our lists we can find our LCM. So here's what I ask of you. What is the smallest number in both lists that is the same in both lists? Are you thinking 8? If you are, very, very, very good. That is correct. That's the first number that is the same in both lists. So the LCM of 2 and 8 is 8. All right, moving right along. Let's take a look at another example. Where is my arrow? There it is. Okay, what is the LCM of 6 and 10? So just take a minute to think about those numbers. Do you know what the LCM is off the top of your head? That's okay if you don't. You don't know what it is? No worries. We're going to list out multiples of 6. We're going to list out multiples of 10, and hopefully we can find the, the solution to this mystery. We got to crack this case. So we count by sixes. All right, 6 times 1, 6. 6 times 2, 12. 6 times 3, 18. And on, and on, and on. Let's do one more. What would that be? 42? All right, our next number is 10. Let's count by tens. 10, 20, a 40, a 50, a 60, and we'll do one more. 70. Now let's take a step back and let's see if we can find our LCM using just the numbers that we've listed. What is the first number in both lists that is identical or the same? 30? Did you say 30? I think I heard you say 30. 30 is correct. That is our LCM. The LCM of 6 and 10 is 30. Now, really quick, what would happen if we would have listed out multiples of two numbers and we stopped and we looked at our two lists and we couldn't find a number that matched? What would you do then? Well, what you would do is you would just keep listing multiples of those numbers until you got a match. Okay, you just keep listing the multiples until you find them. That's the idea. Next example. I would like for you to try, pause the video, find the LCM of 5 and 12, work it out on your own, and then hit play and check your answer. All right, so check it out. Here's what I did. I started counting by 5s. I started counting by 12s. And I hit a roadblock because I took a step back. I looked at my two lists, and guess what? I couldn't find a number that matched. So what does that mean? Does that mean there is no LCM? Of course not. There is an LCM. We just need to keep looking for it. I'm going to add my fiver list. So 35, 40, 45, 50. Do I have a match yet? No. Okay, let me just keep listing. 55, 60. Ah, there it is. 60. 60 is the first multiple that is the same in both lists. So the LCM of 5 and 12 is 60. One more example. What is the LCM of 6 and 7? You do the same thing. Hit pause, work it out on your own, and then check your answer. I think I found it! I got 42. Did you get the same thing? That's my least common multiple, 42. Count by sixes, count by sevens. Take a step back, check out your lists. Find the smallest number that is the same in both lists. We have to have a match. Smallest number that was the same in both lists is 42, LCM of 6 and 7. Shazam, 42, booyah! This concludes our examples. Now, what I need for you to do is the following. First of all, log into Math Excel and click on A28. It's going to ask you for a password. I will not tell you what the password is. You bring Chromebook to me. You bring notebook to me. I will check your notes for today. I will grade your notebook from the other days. And then I will enter the password for A28 so you may complete the assignment. Once you finish A28, which, by the way, all joking aside, is pretty short, I think it's going to go pretty fast. After you finish A28, you can do basically whatever you want as long as it's not disruptive. You can listen to music. You can listen to music while you're working on A28 if you want to. But get A28 done. Okay? This is it. This concludes the video. Sorry, I'm doing it here on Monday after school, after we did the midterm. I'm tired, and I'm just I'm just trying to get it done so I have something to do for Wednesday. So the videos that I do in the future, hopefully they will be a little bit more interesting. All right, now keep up the good work. Adios.